Michael, you said you guys were writing now, working on another record. Are some of the things that are happening right now shaping some of the things that you're writing? The first thing, I have to be honest, one of the things that popped into my head, because I mean, Operation Mindcrime is just genius, timeless, goes down in history. And then there was, of course, the sequel to it, and I almost wonder, is it time for a third one? Is it time for her to come back? Have you ever thought about it?
A lot of people suggest that, but I think.
You mean for that storyline?
Who's to say that we'll come up maybe with a thematic or a conceptual album? But that one is parked in.
Should be left alone.
Yeah, should just be. It's a timeless endeavor that is so special to people. So and usually sequels are not
as good.
True.
in the movie industry and in the.
I mean, it absolutely was such a powerful statement. It remains so, I think.
I think it's more of our surroundings, what we're feeling, what we're going through, how we're impacted by certain things, and it all kind of filters down into a creative, artistic way of expressing what's happening, rather than being so blatant and in your face.
Yeah, ambiguity is good.
I think it's if something can have different meanings to everybody, I think it's more fun for the listener.
I was just watching a thing on a side note on YouTube, and I can't remember the name of the channel, but it was kind of like a behind the music type thing. And Howard Jones, which is an artist I love from the 80s, I was watching his video during this interview, and it's the song you can look at the menu but you just can't eat, that song.
Things can only get better.
No one is to blame.
No one is to blame.
So he talks about a line in there, and I can't remember the line right off the top of my head, but he mentions a line, and I thought, yeah, what did that line mean? And he said, even today, that line is still having a new meaning. So it's funny when you write something and you think that you know what that means or where it came from. And then you maybe read an article with the songwriter, and they say, well, actually, I just wrote it because it rhymed. It didn't mean anything. And people kind of feel let down. But the fact that there is that, it's open to interpretation is great. There's a lot happening in the world. There's so much content to write from. And, for me, I write most of the lyrics in the band. Of course, anyone can write, and I'll sing whatever, I don't stifle anyone's lyrics, but usually my inspiration comes from sadness, it comes from tragedy, it comes from darkness, it comes from bad things, but I always try to find a twist to find the way out, a positive spin at the end, because I don't think I've ever written a happy song in my life. It's always stems from something really sad that really, it just, it taps into people.
Sure.
And if you can come out with a positive angle, then, all the better.
But I agree with you. I think it's really important, too, to not overindulge with an audience and say, well, this is what this song is about. Because I do think it's more important for it to be interpreted. Like if there's a song, for me, one of my go-to songs is The Cure, Pictures of You. And it's it's sad and it's dark.
So good.
But when I'm in that place, that's the song. I don't want to know what Robert Smith was thinking about when he wrote it. I don't want to know.
You know what it means to you.
Exactly.
And you don't want that to be crushed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I completely get it.
So how many songs are you in already for the new one, would you say, at this point?
We just started, so there's a lot of demo phases. So
cool. Is it hard to write when you're on the road?
It's actually easier.
Yeah?
I think, for me, because you're not home and you don't have all the distractions of being home.
You're a lot more distracted.
Yeah. It's
at home.
It's unbelievable, So
even like talking.
The road is like kind of a vacation for me. Just because of all the responsibilities.
Sure.
You're connecting with family and friends back home, and your phone's off the hook. When you're on tour, they know you're busy. And it's, before I started touring heavily, I thought, I'm talking so much more on the road because you're meeting all these people. But I actually talk much less on tour. You know, when I say I'm in my bunk, nobody bothers me.
That's
you know?
good.
And so it's very peaceful. But as far as creativity, you know, you can't force it. So when you have that really good idea, Michael, you know, everyone has.
I think it's like being in a different surrounding every day.
Sure.
You know, it just, if anything's,
Right,
you know,
that's
if there's a
true.
log jam in your creative process,
Yeah.
you know, being in a different temperature, different,
could unlock that.
you know, different surroundings, it's just so easy to come up with ideas.
Right.
Just that is, and plus, you know, when you go on the road, I turn myself into like warrior mode, you know, it's like,
He's constantly recording ideas.
I gotta get ready
wow.
for the road and
Yeah.
sleeping in a bunk, and you know, it's like doing what I do at this age. It can be challenging, you know.
What, it's hard when you're 30?
32, but you're very kind.
But yeah, I think you know, going to a different surrounding, I think helps the creative process.
So what are the hometown crowds like for you? Still get that same rush? Is it pretty exciting when you get to play at
it's
home?
very supportive, you know.
Sure.
It's great that, you know, we have so many old school fans here, you know, that have been with us since the very beginning.
Right.
And, you know, everybody here is kind of, dare I say, a little more hipper than some of the other cities. So it's always fun to play here, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a great city.
Do you get to go home and sleep in your own bed for one more night before you have to head out again?
No.
You're heading right out. Back to the bunk.
Yeah, we have to go to where?
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Oh, wow.
So,
How long are you going to be on the road for?
a little over a month.
Yeah. Home for the holidays?
Yeah, I think
Well, for Christmas,
yeah.
not Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving on the road. That's kind of a bummer. That's the one holiday I like to be at home. I like the
We're
meals.
always gone on,
Yeah.
you know, certain things. So, no stranger to that.
Yeah. Just comes with the territory.
But, you know, it's we tend to go like in these 4, 5, 6 week runs, and that's pretty much, you know, by the end of that,
We're done.
we're taxed. We need
Time
to
to go home.
recharge
Right.
and yeah, go home and get your wits, you know, decompress.
Yeah.
But you know, we love it here. It's such a great time here.
Exactly. And it's a beautiful day in Seattle. It's not pouring down rain. It's that lovely shade of gray.
Right.
Todd's like, get me back to Florida.
Right.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for taking out the time. I know you guys got to get ready for the show tonight.
you.
Looking forward to it. So
Thank you for the interest and the
Thank
support.
you.
And it was great.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, very good.